which is that we can talk left and right about Islamists, we can talk about groups that we think are affiliated with al-Qaeda, whether they are or not, but at some point, we actually have to think about how do you engage these groups, because they're there, and they represent significant swaths of the population.
Thank you. Hassan Tweit, as the president of the Syrian American Council, obviously you have family ties right at ground zero, and the Iraq War left a long legacy in Syria as well. How do you see that affecting this debate?
I want to draw the comparison that the Iraqi regime is exactly identical to the Syrian regimes. They came from the same party, the Ba'ath Party, which is actually, it kills people, imprison people. So we should not really compare the Syrian revolution right now to the Iraqi war. I want to draw the map between Kosovo, how successful and how the debate went at that time. We all disagree that we should not go to Kosovo, but I want to compare the Kosovo to the Syria. We need to end the war in Syria. We're not starting a war in Syria as an American. We have a bad situation in Syria, started in the early 2010 to 2011, and then it went to worse, and now we have a horrible situation. As a Syrian, we look at it, and as an American, I am ready to pay a price for a bad in order to deter and stop the horrible situation in Syria.
Thank you. Congresswoman Hahn.
Well, I think Americans are war weary. I'm old enough to have lived through Vietnam. I watched this country go into Iraq and Afghanistan. I watched the mission accomplish, with President Bush landing on the aircraft carrier. I've been to Walter Reed Hospital, and I've seen the young men and women who've lost their legs, their arms. We do not treat our veterans with any kind of respect in this country. Many of them are still Monday, when I was in the Labor Day parade in Wilmington, California, I had people coming up to me left and right begging me not to go to this war. And the majority of these people were veterans. They were military families. They were mothers of Army soldiers and said, this is not our war. We don't want to get dragged into another war. So Americans are war weary, and we do not know the outcome of a military strike. We do not know what's going to lead to, and I think Americans overwhelmingly are not prepared to make this kind of commitment.
It's Congresswoman Janice Hahn. Carlos Amezcua, Fox 11.
I want to say, first of all, thank you to the LMU students. Your terrific questions, and there's so many more questions that I know you have. But I wanted to hear from someone who's a little older, has a little experience in the world, and has seen this before, and Mike is that guy. So, Mike, give us your name and your question, please.
I'm Michael Breen, and this question really is for Hassan directly, but if anybody else wants to jump in with the answer, please do so. My question is, what about the people of Syria? Is a show of force really going to help them? Both sides in the battle, both the regime and the insurgents, don't really seem worthy of help. Am I missing something? And what is going to be the response of Syria to a show of force? What about Iran? What about Russia?
Okay. Good question. Thank you. The people of Syria, if you look at the last 10 years, we were promised that there's going to be opening, the government's going to open itself. We've been out of the history of humanity for the last 40 years. So the people of Syria, they love to wear jeans. They love, especially Levi's, by the way. And they love to wear, to have the iPhones. They are intact with the United Nations, with the United States. They love what the United States stand for. They're actually watching us, what we're doing. I called 2 days ago, and they say, when, please, can the United States help us? So technically, they are part of the humanity. They want to go back to humanity. I am part, my mother is actually minority. She is actually from Caucasus Mountains. She came from Russia. We suffered. So we live with this beautiful mosaic in Syria. Syria is like California. There's a multi-culture, multi-religion. So we do have that beautiful mosaic, and we will stand to keep it.
Thank you, Hassan. We have 1 minute left, and I want to complete our Insta poll. This is highly scientific. I would ask those of you who support interdiction in Syria to please stand now and say aye, if you would. Those of you who are listening to our town hall, and say aye, please. Aye. Those of you who oppose interdiction in Syria, please stand and say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I would like to hear from a special group. I would like anybody who had their mind changed by either way, in either direction, by the town hall meeting we've just conducted, please stand and say aye. No minds. Thanks to our panelists, Schlichter, Najwa, al-Qattan, Larry Elder, Feryal, Cherif, Hassan, Tweit, Carlos Amezcua, Congresswoman Janice, Hahn, and a special thanks to Loyola Marymount University and to Stephen R. Golden and Associates for sponsoring this great event. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.